All right, time to see if this thing's working. It is, it's working, that's unreal. Good morning. It has been a wild morning here as I scoop all of the water out of my flooding basement. But welcome to the very first stream of Flushing Badger Painting, live on YouTube. Super Space Puss was my nickname in high school. That also reminds me that I won't just read everything that pops up in the chat. That's a trap. And here's what I want to paint today. The name of the stream, Space Cat Where You At, is a nod to this little fella, who is the... We'll zoom in, we'll have a look. That's the first player marker for the Nemesis board game. Sucks about the basement, man. Yeah, it does. I got up like half an hour early and I was like, oh, I'll slowly get settled, I'll have a shower, I'll make myself a cuppa. And then as I opened the basement door, it was water everywhere. I went, no. And yeah, so Space Cat is what I've decided to paint. I figured I'd pick something a bit more straightforward, not too crazy. I mean, you're good. Unreal, thanks dude. Also, wow, massive shout out, MT Speedcrafts in the house. Absolutely love your channel. Your dioramas are amazing. And every time I see one of your thumbnails pop up in my feed, I get pretty excited. So the setup that I've got, check this out. We can go straight. Oh yeah. Should it ever be required? Huge close up. Okay, I'm gonna jump straight in. I've given myself pretty much an hour to see how I go with painting. And I don't like my odds of actually being able to finish this mini, but if I can get started on it and make it look pretty cool, I'll be happy. I've got a small amount of Xandri dust. I figure I'll start by painting the fur of the cat. So I'm gonna start with this color, purely to act as a midway point where I can then come over the top with orange. And Woody, how are you? Early morning for you, my friend. So you'll notice that I've already put some colors on the Space Cat. I've got blues, pinks, and purples. When I'm painting the rest of my layers, I'm gonna leave those shadows below, even if they end up being lighter colors. You'll get this really mystic horror, but still vibrant look to it. Try and make it look like this cat is part of the spooky space station. That's my goal. So I think my socks are wet from when I was getting all the water out. But I didn't want to just leave it sitting on a waiting screen the whole time. So I figure I can paint with wet socks. You can see I've already gone through the paws, the tail, and now just the face of the cat. And then I reckon I'll come over the top with some oranges and then a wash. So Nemesis is a board game from, I think it's Awaken Realms. It is Awaken Realms, it was behind me on the shelf. Which is pretty much along the lines of Alien, where you're all in a space station, there's some critters that are loose. You're meant to work together as a team, but there's also some hidden agendas that makes people turn on each other. And we absolutely love it. It was a funny game, which ended in people getting sent out of airlocks when they didn't want to. Is that the same game Dingles trapped me in with the alien? Yes, with the Queen Alien, yes, absolutely. Dingles had some special power of being able to manipulate the computers to control the doors of the spaceship. And I don't even know if that was his hidden agenda or if he just has a vendetta against you. But yes, locked you in a room with the Queen Alien, which bought the rest of us some time to effect an escape. And I don't even know if we escaped in the end, so I think it was just petty. But yeah, that game. I just thin that down, and then it can go on in layers, and then it ends up being smoother and nicer. Is the theory, and then I just make mistakes. And I can't even hide now that it's live. I think I'll jump across, and I might start on the spacesuit. Space Cat, where you at? Wonder if the chat works for me. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's pretty important. That is a picture of a badger dabbing. The brushes that I'm using, if you can't see, it's called Rosemary & Co. is the brand. What I love about them is they're affordable are still really good. There's no paid promotions or anything here, I can assure you. Check out this bloke, shilling for the brush industry. Hello, Michael Wegman. Good morning, how are you? That was unreal. So that dude earlier, by the way, MT Speedcrafts, has his own channel, which I'll be plugging, and he does dioramas. I'm sure I could come up with a better descriptive term. He designs and creates incredible dioramas. He did one of a German U-boat that's half sunk in a sub-pen, and it looks absolutely amazing. Are you taking any models to PAX? To paint or to display or anything? Either way, probably no. PAX is the Penny Arcade Expo. We normally go as a group, just hang out, play board games, and eat sour straps. They're probably the main set highlights. Oh, by the way, we now got 7 people viewing apparently. That's unreal. I mean, I should lie, because on the replay they might not know. Hey, we got 87 people viewing. But let's have a look at Space Cat. The awesome cat you're painting, thank you. Astro. Yeah, I think it was Astro or Cosmic Mittens or Super Space Puss. I can't remember what we did come up with, but we were trying to name him in our last game. Super Space Puss was my nickname in high school. That also reminds me that I won't just read everything that pops up in the chat. That's a trap. All right, so the second layer is coming on really well now. You can see there, the purples and that remain in the shadows. And if there's an area like this, well then I focus on the raised part. And also features, if you're wondering, the big pillow up the back with the goggles today. Different artistic work on the pillow every time. But that is Dingles, the Giga Chad, apparently that he is, or Dingle Chad. But I'm gonna pick out some greys. I don't know what greys yet. I could just use black and white, but I'm being lazy, and I'm gonna pick out actual greys. And you can see I'm painting in greys, but all along the edges here, I'm keeping everything in the blues, the purples, and the pinks. What I think I'll end up doing, you ever paint any bolt action figures? No, but I've had a request for it. Another mate of mine plays, bolt action, and wants me to do something more realistic, which is on my list. And now that you've mentioned it, I reckon I'm gonna have to do it. But my favorite part about painting those would be all the weathering. So I love tanks, but yeah, that really grimy, rusty, weathered look, like they've been through an arduous campaign. And that's sort of where I started in the hobby with my orcs, is you didn't have to be neat and tidy, which is what I loved about orcs, is I could get some base coats on like this, and then you just go ham with weathering. You put rust everywhere, and you put streaking grime everywhere. I didn't need any talent to do it, but it ends up looking really cool. In fact, I'm gonna throw over to you, MT Speedcrafts again. What have been some of your highlights with having your own channel? Just how wholesome the making and building community is. You're absolutely right. That's one of my favorite things, is when someone says, hey, I'm looking for a way to paint whatever, and then someone will drop one of my videos in and say, yeah, check out this guy, he painted it like this. He's not very funny, but the video was informative. Brutal. So I hope you appreciate it. I got a fresh haircut for today. And obviously lied to the barber when he asked if I had something special. I was like, yeah, mate, it's a big lad's footy trip stuff. But at least that's impressive. Someone can come over and they can see a table full of dioramas that actually have something to look at. For me, they see a little cabinet with a bunch of tiny little action dolls with some paint on them, and they just go, And it's evident that you put a lot of work and you've created yours. Sometimes they look at mine and they just go, oh yeah, did you just like buy a little plastic toy and put it in there? I'm like, oh no, I painted it. And they go, oh yeah. My darling wife has requested you wear a Bob Ross wig while you paint. That is so cool. You can let her know I'm not that far off, because the hair, she's starting to recede a little. So check the merch store for the wigs as they come, Wegman. And the cheeks. This is where the raised area is most prominent, where people are gonna look. Let's get some lighter colors in there. Also, has anyone noticed that I've got a cat t-shirt in a space helmet, and I'm painting a cat in a space helmet? That was not planned. I mean, no, this is the level of detail I go to just for painting on this channel. You're welcome. I'll probably end up finishing painting this model today, and then I'll post something on the socials. Thank you so much everyone for being a part of it. That was really fun, and I managed to get through it. It was terrifying. But I'll chat to you all soon. Thanks again. See you, bye.